Hello, I'm Chris. This is Gross Models, and this is part 2 of building the Terminator, building the T800. Now, in this week's issue, we've got quite a few bits. I haven't really looked at it yet. We've obviously got a bag of screws. We've got the lower jaw, which is actually a plastic piece, although it looks metallic. So yeah, might have to rethink the whole polishing of the everything. We've got, I think, what's the outside of the arm, which is another heavy metallic piece. Another plastic bit, which is some sort of joint. Another plastic bit, which we'll figure out what it is in a minute. And we have some teeth. Now, there's been a lot of people complaining about the teeth, saying they're too big and too white. But I think they were working off of the previous sort of test run bits, because these aren't too white. They're sort of nicely yellowed. Now, whether they're too big or not, you won't really know until you get it all together. But obviously, normally teeth are covered by lips and gums and stuff, which aren't on there. So we don't really know what it looks like yet. And sorry, that's not the lower jaw, that's the upper jaw, because we haven't got the lower jaw yet. Right, let's have a flick through the magazine and see what we've got. We've got the, again, subscribe, which I have done. But I couldn't wait for the subscription to turn up, so I've actually popped out and bought this from the shop today. So I will be getting another one of these through the door at some point, but it's a chance to try out some more weathering and stuff on it. But I won't be buying next week's, because that should be here, I say, sooner rather than later. Upper jaw, upper teeth, right arm component A, B and C. So that's what it's for the right arm. And some screws with one spare, screws with one spare, screws with one spare. Okay, oh, it even shows you, that's quite nice, showing you what bits you've actually got this time. I didn't notice that in the first issue. But there we go. So in there, as ever, it actually starts this time with how to build it, and tells you might need some. You're going to need some super glue, I think, to hold the teeth in. Yep, there you go. There's actually packs of multiple teeth. Have a flick through and see what's what. I've got to put that onto there with a screw, and then it goes on to other things about Iron Man and robotic arms. And next week's issue is the testing board battery pack, a finger apparently, and for testing the eyes, and part of the tricep. So interesting enough. Let's see what we're doing. The first thing I'm going to do is grab out from last week the two head pieces which I've got. Let's put them that way around, because that's the way I had them around all the time. This one I've polished and shined and made shiny. That one is stock as it comes. I also added some panel lining to add a bit of detail to that, because I thought that was probably the one I'm going to go with. But because we've got this as a plastic piece, which you're not really going to be able to polish and shine up, it's now a case of seeing which one it actually goes with, and obviously going onwards, if there's going to be a mix of shiny and matte, and obviously that's possible to shine up because it's metal, but I don't know what other plastic bits like that are going to be visible next to it. So I'm actually thinking now I might not go with the shiny. I'm going to go with the off-the-shelf normal. I'll still be adding the panel lines and things like that to it, so we'll still be improving it, but not getting it all shiny, because it's not really going to match very well. Figure out where that actually fits in. Oh, that goes together like that. So there's only a little bit of it around the sides here that you're going to be able to see. So let's see how that actually looks. This is actually shinier than that. With that in there, yeah, no, I think that's probably a better match than the original. So I will go with a shiny, because that is a shinier bit. Hopefully it comes out on the camera there. So yeah, looks like I will be going shiny with that. So I'll put that back in the box, and we'll worry about it down the line. Obviously from last time we've also got the eyes, which, from what I looked at glancing through the magazine, we're going to be assembling now. I've got some super glue around, so I can do the teeth, not a problem. Step one, examine all the pieces, make sure you've got what you got. Not all the pieces come with will be assembled immediately. You can put the right arm component A off to one side and not use that until another week. So I've got to get a bigger box to put that in because that won't fit in the box that I've got at the moment. Alright, step 2, we're putting the jaw to the eye socket. Okay, and we're going to be using two 2x6mm screws, the longer of the screws with the rounded head. It's nice that they actually give you descriptions. The Agostini could learn a lot from them with their builds, and they're still not labelled packets or anything like that, not individually separated, but it's telling you more accurately what you can use. So let's see what we've got and divide these screws up. Did have a pair of tweezers here. So we've got a pair of magnetic tweezers, lovely. That's just going to be so much more helpful than anything else. I'll use these longer ones that aren't magnetic. So we've got short ones, 3 of those, others that are the same length, but so hopefully you can make out there's rounded heads and flat heads. So it says to use the eyes and the lower jaw. So they go together like that. Now I've put that bit on there which it didn't say to do. I just put it there to keep it out of the way. It looks like there's going to be a problem if I do that, so I won't. So that goes on there and is held in place through the bottom there with 2 of the screws, as it says, the longer ones with the rounded head. So we'll use that. Let's hold that in the right place. And put that in the screw hole. Now, as with all of these builds, when you're putting in screws, when you've got multiple to do, it's never a good idea to tighten down the first one because you might not have everything lined up properly. So I always put the first one in a little bit and then put in the rest and then go back and tighten them down. It's just easier than messing around. This does feel like it locates in place, so it's probably not going to be a problem, but it's always a good habit to get into, to just make sure everything's locating properly before you tighten everything down. So that's that assembled. It looks more like a face now as well. Fit them together, put the screws in, tighten the screws in, tighten them firmly in place without forcing them. Yeah, never force screws down. Alright, take the 2 of the shorter screws. As it says, one of these is a spare, and one of those is a spare, and one of those is a spare as well. So we get them out of the way. Put them, it goes through that side. So we're really holding this together. They're going through there. So hold that on from the back. So that's definitely not moving. I'm assuming this is because the lower jaw is going to be motorised. It's going to open and close. So it probably needs to make sure the framework is secure so things don't rattle around. Right. So that's that bit done. Put that to one side. Now it talks about using super glue. Make sure you don't use much of it. A tiny drop of super glue. It can bond skin as easily as it does anything else. It says use a cocktail stick to aid precision. Right. Basically it says to take the teeth off of the sprue. Being a lot model, it's quite well done because the bits where they're attached aren't actually visible. So let's see what it's got. It says 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's labelled on the sprue. You can't really see it very well there. But I won't cut them all off because basically they're not numbered on the individual pieces. So let's have a look at the bottom of this. We've got that there. Basically we start with 1 here, 2, 3 and 4. So what I'm going to do is take off 2, I think. It's a good place to start. I don't really want to start at the back. I'd rather start in the middle. So I'm just going to cut off number 2. Now there is a little nub there, so I'm just going to sand that down a little bit, and so not worrying too much on that. And that is just going to go in there. So yeah, as I say, it's going to take a little dab of super glue on the end there just to put it in place. So let's see how my super glue is, if it's going to come out at all or if it's going to go everywhere. I haven't used it for a little while. No, I need to open that hole. So let's there we go. Eased up that glue. So I can get a little bit of glue out. I'm just going to put some on this plastic there, so it's not going to go everywhere. And as they suggest, I'm going to use a plastic cocktail stick just to apply that little bit of glue to the ends there, and then fit that in place. Right, I can do that with the others, but there's no point in showing you all of that, so I'll do that now and come back when they're all assembled. And there we go, that's the teeth put in. They don't look bad. I'm not unhappy with how they look. I am just going to slide the top on, because obviously that's going to cover some of them somewhat. Yeah, I'm not unhappy with how that looks. That's okay, I think that's good to go. So yeah, obviously the glue needs to set and dry on there. I'm going to put it upside down so they're forcing themselves into the mouth. Slightly concerned that there's only 10 teeth in that top layer. I think there should be more than that. But I don't know how many were actually on the original filming piece, but there we go. Right, the next up, step 8. Time to assemble the first pieces of the right arm. This is going to be these two plastic pieces. And we're lining a notch with those. There we go. So obviously only goes on one way round. And surprise, surprise, that's held in place with the last 2 screws that we've got from this issue. So we're popping those in. Now obviously this can't go anywhere other than exactly where it is, but I'll still do the putting in one screw and then putting in the other screw, just to not break the habit. I'm holding that square on there so I can go straight down onto it as well. But to give you the idea of what's what, it obviously fits together like that. That's the notch that we were reading about, having to hold on. So let's get that tightened down into there. Next time I should be using the official screwdrivers that they provide. This is just an old one that I've got knocking around that's a good sort of size for getting into places. So there we go, that's that tightened down, and that one as well. So that's attached nice and securely on there. That's that. That's obviously a part of the right arm, as is that, as it shows on the initial picture. And that is, as it says, that stage completed. I'll put those aside in my box with my spare bits. The one thing that does concern me a little bit now is it hasn't said to put that on, and it doesn't seem to fit very well unless that goes upwards. It probably goes up rather than down. So that one will go on there. Let's get it attached in there again. One side doesn't want to go on. Oh well. I'm sure it'll go on there eventually. Yeah, one side goes on all right, the other's just a little bit tighter, but we'll worry about that down the line. So that's, I say, how he's looking. It's coming together. It's obviously only second week, so it's not bad. I'm still not sure about modifications. I think I might do the bits around the eyes. I might give them some silver. This is attached to that, but it's not attached to that yet, so there we go. So before that gets attached, I might paint these bits in more of a chrome rather than leaving them black. But I say, so far that's how we're working. That's what we've got assembled so far. Yeah, I'm liking the shinier, so I will be working on getting it shiny. So there you go. I've been playing around with it so much the LEDs come out, so make sure that's pushed in there firmly. It's not that firm, but I'll worry about that later. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the build, and say if you picked it up and are building along, see you soon. I don't know when part 3 is going to be, so stay tuned, stay subscribed to the channel, click the little bell so you get the notifications, and thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.